Hey y'all. Hey y'all, what's up? It's Angelique. I am back. I am excited. It is the last episode of my podcast for this year. We will pick it up again next year, but this is the last one for this year. So I am so excited. Listen, let me tell you something. I told you that I tend to prepare, right? I mean, I am over prepared probably for today, but this one was essential for me. So I am happy somebody's already on. I miss y'all. I miss y'all just from 1 week ago. Ain't that crazy? I couldn't wait to talk to you today. I have a lot of important things to say. So let me just get into it because I'm probably going to go to like 8:15 today. But hello to all my courageous queens, my courageous kings. Welcome to episode number 30. Yes, I keep track. That's my personality. Episode number 30 of my weekly domestic violence awareness podcast. Not domestic violence podcast, domestic violence awareness podcast. It's called Silent No More. Again, I'm Angelique Pierce. I am a survivor of domestic violence, but I am also an advocate of freedom and truth. And this episode today really, really touches that freedom and truth. I am the founder of Ladder Masters Inspirational Leadership Group. I always call it Ladder Masters. Now, just to be clear, when I created Ladder Masters, I started with three purposes, and it was to bring awareness, to break down facades, and to build conquerors. And I am telling you that this last episode of the year, again, I'm picking it back up in next year, but the last episode of 2021 hits really hard on point number three, which is to build conquerors. So listen, when I speak, I tell people if I say anything that doesn't make sense, that doesn't hit on one of those 3 points, you have the right to tell me. Bring awareness, break down facades, build conquerors. That is what I'm here to do. Now, this is has been a 3 week discussion, and this is the third installation. So the final of this particular series, right? That I really wanted to build toward the end of the year to prepare your mind for 2022. So we all know what the name of this one is. If you don't know, let me remind you. It is very special, but it is like when I think about it, if you haven't spent much time on this particular series, then I'm gonna have to get you a little bit of help because this particular one is all about you. It is all about choosing you in 2022. My guess is that there's been some things that have happened this year that you're not necessarily so proud about, that you're like, man, I wish I would have made a different decision, especially when it comes down to domestic violence victims and survivors. I'm telling you, I know that's the case. So this was all about helping you as a victim, as a survivor, as a general human being to live courageously for the rest of this year into next year. That was the point. So it's a mind setting series. So I'm going to keep going because I got a lot to cover. Now, y'all know I like to say a quick prayer. If you haven't yet shared this episode, please do. Share it now so that people know that you're watching something live that they should, in fact, see tonight. All right, because this is a good one. This is the close out the year. So if you haven't yet, tag somebody in it. Go ahead and type a name in, hit enter. That will tag them and let them know they need to watch this thing. If you haven't shared it to a Facebook group, get to sharing. All right, help me out. Make sure I help to get this message out and across to the nation and around the world is the point. So let me say my quick prayer, all right? Ooh, Father, as we come before you, just thinking about all that's occurred this year, there's been a lot of challenges and a lot of things that just didn't make sense and honestly still don't make sense right now. But one thing I do know is that there are women, men, children who are in situations that they do not belong in, that they do not deserve to be in. So, God, I ask you right now that you open their ears, if you open their hearts, you open their minds to just hear this message a little bit differently today, God, because we don't always have as much time as we think we do to get things right. So, God, I ask you right now for every victim and every survivor, God, that you give them that strength and courage and vision to get out and stay out of these kinds of situations. Trust me, I had my time where I couldn't see clearly, but I thank you right now that I see completely and clearly. God, you are my one, my only. I thank you for all these things. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right. So Can you let me know that you can hear me just fine? That's what I want to know because I'm about to dig right in tonight. All right, so here we go. If you haven't hit the share button, hit it now. So let me keep going. Again, this is a 3-week podcast series. It's called Choosing You in 2022. Choosing You in 2022. Now I'm going to do a quick rewind of what happened in week 1 and week 2, and then we're going to get to week 3's content. So I started out with an explanation of the name of this series, which is again, Choosing You in 2022. So why? Because think about it. If you don't choose you, then who will? If you don't choose yourself, and if you are not willing to do that or unable to do that, then who is going to choose you? Who is? So, choosing yourself is not just about saying yes to yourself, it is also learning to say those 2 letters that everybody has such a hard time saying no. That one word, 2 letters, no. Saying no to the world. And I don't mean saying it and then being like, oh, I shouldn't have, maybe I shouldn't have said that. No, I mean saying no and not feeling guilty about it. That's what I mean. Saying no and not feeling guilty about it. All right. So choosing yourself is fighting for yourself. That is learning to walk this path of striving to be truly free, mind, body, and spirit, all the way. Choosing yourself isn't a single instance, it's not a single moment. It is an ongoing practice, meaning you really got to do it over and over again. That's why I named it Choosing You, because it's something we've got to keep doing. Now, that was how I put the title together of the series. Week 1. Week 1 specifically was titled Speak Your Truth, Find Your Power. Speak your truth, find your power. So I remember telling you about this blogger named Braver Hope. And they said, after all, for a big part of our lives, we are taught how to choose other people rather than ourselves. Isn't that something? We're taught always to respect our elders, but we aren't taught how to respect ourselves. And that alone is what I am here to help you fix. We have got to tune into who we are, how to treat, make sure we know how to treat people, but that's fine. But before we learn that, ask ourselves, how do we feel? That was week number 1. Speak your truth, find your power. Week number 2, setting boundaries, living boundless. All right. Setting boundaries, living boundless. That was week number 2. Women in or even after abusive relationships are frequently told you have no boundaries. You need better boundaries. But I want you to know that this ignores a very, very specific and simple truth that boundaries are not welcome in abusive relationships. This is a fact. If you didn't know, it is a fact. So, what you have is abusers who are creating an environment where victims are not permitted to protest about how they're being treated. And God forbid they do try to say something about their experience, then they are blamed themselves about their experience. And basically, they are systematically silenced. So, we've got a lot to cover today. I'm going to jump into what it is that we're going to discuss in week 3 because week 3 is a good one. It is titled Breaking Free, Living Courageously. Breaking free and living courageously. So let me start with breaking free, that concept of breaking free. And to do that, I have to set the scene for you. I have to set the scene for you so you can transport yourself into my life and my situation just before I got away from my ex husband. I need you to go there with me, okay? It was December 2017. All right. So stick with me. Yep. It's December 2021. It was December 2017, exactly 4 years ago. Stay with me. At that point, I was completely exhausted, mentally and emotionally drained. I'm telling y'all, I remember it so well because I had essentially become this constant victim. You know, they talk about the cycle of abuse and there's like a honeymoon phase where there's a point in abuse where there's no more honeymoon. The honeymoon phases get shorter and shorter and shorter until they don't exist anymore. So I became this constant victim of his verbal, psychological, financial, spiritual, and yes, some physical abuse. I became that. And I was tired, y'all. I was tired. I was worn out. It was too much. I mean, I just sometimes it's not that I want everybody to go through abuse, but there's a lot of people that got a lot to say about it. And Just every once in a while, I find myself saying, I only wish you really knew. I only wish you really understand. I don't really want them to know and have gone through it, but you get my point. So anyway, I could no longer keep it together. Honestly, I was faking the funk at work. I was trying to cover it up, but I couldn't do that anymore. Calling the police was getting me nowhere over and over again. I had already been talking to an attorney, like, what can I do? How can I get away from this person? And I got my child here, and it was just a whole mess. And by the way, he did often remind me, meaning my ex-husband, he did often remind me that he was 16 steps ahead of me. I never quite knew what that meant, but I had a sense of what he was trying to convey, that he had this thing planned out from day one. I just didn't know. I was the last to know the plan. He was 16 steps ahead of me. So, my home that I bought as a single successful professional woman way back in 2009, the one that I bought, was so proud of, got my first house, right? It became this battleground where I was always trying to figure out where I stood. Was I safe? What's going on with my mind? I felt like I was literally losing it. I I don't, I got so much to tell you. I'm just gonna keep going. But you know what? I came up with a solution because I couldn't do it anymore. And my solution was, it was time to run. It was time to escape. It was time to go. And I was going to take my daughter with me, and I was going to leave almost everything else behind. Yep, the first house that I ever owned. I was going to leave it. I was going to be done with it. So guess what? My mom and my sister were going to fly from Philly and sneak into Charlotte to help me do it, to help me run, to help me escape. Plane tickets were bought. All a secret, right? The hotel room was booked. Had to keep that a secret. But my plan fell apart because I had some issues with the apartment. So here's my story. I'm taking y'all back there with me, right? This is 2017, December 2017, exactly 4 years ago. Listen, I see y'all on here. If you haven't shared this or tagged somebody in it, do it right now, because this story is about to get deep. Remember, this is called Breaking Free, Living Courageously. I'm getting ready to tell you exactly how I broke free. All right, so I had this plan. I was going to run. I was just going to leave it all, take me and my daughter, go get an apartment somewhere, but he was never going to know about it, at least for a while. But my plan fell apart because of issues that I had with the apartment that I was going to move into. The deal just wasn't working. But since they already had plane tickets, my mom and my sister figured, well, they were just going to come anyway, right? And then we could just turn it into a girls' weekend. And it would be, whatever, none the wiser. Well, guess what? My ex-husband found out. He found out. He discovered the secret. But let me tell you how he found out. He found out because he must have gone in and changed the settings to my Marriott rewards. How you have a rewards account with the Marriott hotel properties. But he changed it so that they would push the notifications to him and not to me. Go figure. Well, he got a notification and it said, "Get ready for your upcoming stay at the Courtyard Marriott in Fort Mill, South Carolina." Yeah, yeah, that blew the whole thing out the water. So what I thought was going to happen, how I was trying to keep it on the low, didn't work out. So he found out on a Thursday. That was the day before my mom and sister were coming to town. So before they arrived, he decided, now again, it's Thursday, he decided that me keeping that secret, I'm sure this is what he thought, that was a clear signal to him that he was losing control over me. How dare I keep a secret from him? How dare I not tell him and do all these things he had to find out through Marriott? Oh, Lord have mercy. So now that he knew, now that he knew what looked like he was losing control of me, he decided what he was going to intensify the fear in me to make me either tell them not to come, or if they did come, he was going to make sure that they felt so uncomfortable about coming into what he would have called his house, is what he said. Not ain't your house, bruh. That was essentially the place where he established his dominion, but that's okay. I had some things to work through. So now I want y'all to stay with me. Just stay with me. Tag somebody, say hello, send me a hello. Let me know you out there because I love talking to my audience. Now, you have to stay with me because these events that I'm about to describe to you My breaking free, because this is called breaking free, living courageously. My breaking free took place over the course of a total of about 6 days. 6 days, y'all. All right, let me take you back there. Thursday, December 4th. Hey, Norma. Thursday, December 14th of 2017. Stay with me, y'all. Again, this was the night before my mom and my sister had arrived. And he was absolutely furious that they were coming the next day. He was so furious that so I'm in the bedroom on the master bed, sitting there with I think a computer on my lap, or maybe I don't even remember. But all I know is I see him come from the right side, charging into the room, walking across the bed, and I'm looking, thinking, okay, he must be about to turn right and go toward the bathroom because, well, he had a bottle of Drano in his hands, and well, what else we gonna do with Drano? I mean, it's for the bathroom, ain't it? So, but instead of him turning right to go into the bathroom, he turned left and came back toward me, toward the bed. So, of course, I'm on high alert now because he's unscrewing the cap as he's walking toward me like he's on a mission. So he gets to me. Hey, Jacob. He gets to me and he literally unscrews the cap and he is shaking the Drano out of the bottle. Now, y'all got to remember, Drano has a small opening. So thank God he didn't think about squeezing it out first and just throw the cup of Drano on me, right? But he's trying to shake it out the bottle and it's getting on the clothes in the basket next to me and also on the bed sheets because I dive roll, like I just dive roll out the way and rolled off the bed, ran down the hallway, knocked on my stepson's door, and I'm like a mess, telling him what's going on. I call the police. This part of the story really, really pisses me off. So just, y'all ready for this? So while we're waiting for the police to arrive, I'm like in my daughter's room trying to stay kind of to myself, hidden out or whatever. Let me tell you what he did while we were waiting for the cops to get there. This dude, this dude went into our master bedroom closet. You know, the one I thought he's going to turn right. It's actually through the bathroom at the end of the bathroom. He went and turned in there, got one of his shirts, poured some Drano on his own shirt so that when the police arrived, they would think, well, wait a minute, it got on his clothes too. And you know what happened when the cops got there? Two of them downstairs with him, two of them upstairs with me, talking to me, and I'm telling my version of the story. They must have got together, and the four police must have talked. And when they came back to me, they said, "Well, ma'am, he actually showed us his shirt, and his shirt had some Drano on it." I said, "You have to be kidding me. Are you serious? You really believe him right now? Are you kidding me?" So he showed them his shirt, like, "Look, it got on my shirt too." And this is what the police said to me. Well, Miss Pierce, he said it was an accident. Did you catch that? He said it was an accident. Not what I said. Not what I'm the one who freaking called the police. But he said it was an accident. And they said he showed us his shirt that had the bleach stains on it from the Drano. Did the Drano get on you? So they asked me, did the Drano get on me? So I said no, because I dive rolled, I got out the way and I ran down the hall. And the police officer says, well, as your husband, technically the clothes and the bed sheets are half his. So since the Drano didn't get on you, he hasn't done anything criminal yet. He hasn't done anything criminal yet. Okay, so all right, cool. Okay, officer, you know what? You're right. You're right. The situation wasn't crazy or dangerous in any way. You know what? I'm sure it's completely possible that an accident with Drano, which must be squeezed out of a bottle, can happen perfectly in three different places. You know, the master closet, the master bed, and then also in the basket next to the bed. Sure, an accident can happen in three different places, an accident. But hey, listen, officer, I'm sure a Drano, this is what I wish I would have said that day. I'm sure a Drano burn won't be too bad. So tell you what, I'll just call you back after my face or my skin already has the chemical burns. That way, this can officially be criminal. I swear to you, it's stuff like that. You got police out here on a scene where domestic violence is clearly taking place because there's no freaking way that Drano got in 3 different places and it was a whole accident one time. That's the kind of stuff that frustrates me about law enforcement. Make freaking sense of the situation. And it was kind of like, well, if you feel unsafe, you can go get yourself a hotel room. Yeah, okay. All right. That was Thursday, December 14th. Y'all stand with me? It's that kind of stuff. That was Thursday, December 14th, before my mom and sister even got there. Friday, December 15th, they arrive, right? I'm so happy they're there. It's just like a breath of fresh air. Just feels like I was protected again. I had someone there who loved me, who loved me. So my mom and my sister were at the Courtyard Marriott in Fort Mill, South Carolina. And they were at the hotel, and I had taken my daughter over there so she could spend some time with them because, they're in Philly. We were here, don't get to see them. But I ended up going back home. So while she was still there, I ended up going back home to take a shower, right? Wrong, wrong move. Okay. He tried to punch me twice while I was in the shower. Whether he meant to connect or not, I couldn't tell you. I just know he wanted to scare the crap out of me. And let me tell you, I was completely naked trying to take a shower, and this is what he's doing, right? So I was in the shower. He's trying to punch me. Think we had like a glass cage door on the bathroom shower, and I was getting attacked because I let my daughter spend time with my mom and my sister. No, 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 you heard me right. No, you really did. I was in trouble being attacked while I had no clothes on in the shower because my daughter was spending time with my mom and my sister. So because of that, and I do not like to curse, but for the sake of y'all getting the point, I was a dirty bitch. He told me he hated my fucking ass. He told me I was going to die for that shit. Words. You going to die for that shit. For letting my daughter spend time with my mom and my sister. He said he didn't care who she was with. And he threw another punch when he threw the second punch, and he told me he should punch the fuck out of me, is what he said. That he should punch the fuck out of me. This is the stuff, y'all, that's happening. Hey, Sophie. Hey, Jacob, thank you. God bless you too. Jacob, thank you for tagging all these people in, letting them know that we on here tonight because I got so much to say. So Thursday night, this man's trying to throw Drano on me. Friday night, he decides I'm just going to turn it up. And I'm just going to attack her in the shower. But you know what? God is good because I actually had in my phone, in my purse, I had my phone, a little voice memo on record, caught the whole thing. Y'all want to talk about having evidence for court? Caught the whole thing on record. He didn't even know that. Just like I snapped a picture of him, by the way, with the Drano in his hand. Oh, he tried to get my phone from me. That didn't work. So what I'm telling you is this breaking free thing, y'all, it was a process. It didn't just happen when I got out. It was all the stuff, weeks and months and years, and then finally these last 6 days. So Saturday, December 16th, get ready for this. Saturday, December 16th, 2017 was the day that I chopped my hair off. Y'all see this hairstyle? This hair, this very natural, kinky, curly, colored, lovely hair. Saturday, December 16th, 2017 is when I chopped my hair off. And I did that as a sign that I would tolerate no more abuse, that I would tolerate no more control, that I was never going to be silent again. That is why this podcast is called Silent No More. So, how my hair looked, if it wasn't straight and relaxed and flowy and all these curls, all this stuff in it, he had a problem with it. God forbid I got some braids. God forbid my roots grew in a little bit. It was a problem. So, you know what? If that's part of your control, I'm going to take away that control. Now, what you going to do? It's gone. You can't do nothing about it. So let me tell you what he said. So again, this is December 16, 2017. My mom and I had to stop back past the house because I needed more clothes to stay at this hotel, right? So I came in to grab the clothes, and then who happened to show up just minutes later? He did. I swear, I was like, am I on a GPS or something? Like, this is crazy. So my mom and I stopped at the house briefly to get these clothes. He shows up and he looked at me, and this is what he said. He looked at me and he told me, was this supposed to be some kind of like women empowerment or something? You look like a fucking dyke. His words to my ears. That's what he said. And I did tell you that my mom was right there, right? He said it in front of her. Absolutely zero respect. And I said, Mom, did you just hear what he said? And she said, you know what? Just grab your stuff. Let's just go. I want y'all to be thinking Take it back for you. All y'all that are on here, take it back for you. When was that moment, right? What were the moments leading up to your breaking free? Tell me, because I'm interested. I can think back and I remember them clearly. I had to document them for court to get out of that situation. So I remember them very clearly. So that was Saturday, December 16th. Then there's Sunday, December 17th. I can't believe it's exactly 4 years ago. And like, even when I'm telling this story, I cannot believe it's like exactly 4 years ago. So this was the day my mom and my sister were leaving. They were going to go back. This was a Sunday. They were going to go back to Philadelphia. So I had to take them to the airport, had to drop them off. And then when I was on my way home, he called me, right? And he called me to let me know that you might want to call ahead to be let in. I said, what? Why I got, what you mean to be let in? And he basically told me, or he told me that he changed all the locks on the house. And again, this is the house that I allowed him to move into, my house. He changed all the locks on my house and essentially said, you want to get up in here, you need to knock. You need to be let in to here. So I get to the house and all hell breaks loose because now he won't even give me a copy of the key. So I'm physically fighting him for a copy of the key to my own home. I need y'all to picture this kind of stuff that happens in these abusive situations. People just expecting you to get punched in the eye, you have a bloody nose and a busted lip. I promise you, all those things happen. They all can happen in abusive relationships, but there are these other things that they use to diminish your power, to confuse you, to disarm you, to make you basically feel like you are none of who you truly are. It is all lies. But yes, basically told me, you have no power here. This is my house. I changed the locks. I got the key. What you gonna do now? What? So anyway, long story short, that's the nonsense. That is the nonsense that took place in front of my daughter, me fighting for keys to my own house. So I can tell y'all a billion stories, but let me get to the point here. I spoke to an attorney who began giving me advice, free advice about how to get out of my situation. He told me that at that point, between the Drano, the attacking me in the shower, and the changing all the locks, I now had enough evidence to go and get a protection order. So I did just that. So I go to the courthouse that Monday, the 18th, right? Go to the courthouse. I fill out a ton of documents. I'm crying, trying to fill out the documents. This is breaking free, y'all. They had like 20 documents. This is breaking free. I cried the whole time, but this is breaking free. I could wiping my eyes trying to see what they're asking me. I was so tired just trying to fill out all those papers, but it was absolutely necessary that I finish so I can get on the docket and plead my case to a judge, which I did, who granted me that protection order that day. God, it was a 10-day protection order, a temporary protection order to get him out of my space. Well, guess what? The sheriffs went to go find him. The sheriffs went to go serve him. They couldn't find him. Somehow he found out that they were looking for him, which is ridiculous. So I was very scared. And I went and ended up going to my friend's house and stayed at her place for about, it was like 40 minutes away from where I live. But I just took my daughter and myself. We went out there. But they actually, Tuesday, December 19th, what's the day, y'all? Ain't today December 19th, 2021? Tuesday, December 19th, 2017, they got him. 4 years ago today, they served him that 10-day protection order, and they got you, bruh. They caught up with you. Or as we say in Philly, got him. Oh my God. As they say in Philly, got him. That's what we used to say. Thank you, cuz. Thank you. Yes. And you know what? I hate that I went through it. But had I not gone through it, I couldn't be here with y'all telling you the things to look out for. It's because of the silence around domestic violence that it's a part of why it continues. It's the secrecy of it, the shame and the guilt of it. You know what? No more. Silent no more. Shamed no more. Guilty no more. Afraid no more. I will speak and I will make sure that I share this message because there are too many women. They say the statistic is 1 out of 4 women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. 1 out of 4? Nah, that's the only ones that get reported. There's way more than that, and I know it. So I broke free. So that was a 10-day protection order. On the 11th day, we had to go back to court. He had the chance to say, she lying, Your Honor. She making this up. I ain't do nothing to her. But guess what he knew? He knew I had a ton of evidence, voice recordings, pictures, all kind of stuff against him. So guess what he did? Instead of fighting, instead of testifying, instead of trying to say that I lied, you know what he did? He consented. Hold on to that word. He consented to the abuse and essentially said, yes, I abused her. I signed my name right here that I will stay away from her. I will follow these rules or I will go to jail. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. December 19th, 2017, I got that protection order. And by him signing that paperwork at the 10-day or 11th day hearing, that started my separation from him. In North Carolina, you have to be separated for 12 months before you can file for divorce. And that, him signing that document, got him out, started my official separation from him. And the rest is history. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. But let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. Breaking free did not start the day I went to the courthouse, did not start the day that I filled out the paperwork or that the sheriff served him or none of that kind of stuff. Breaking free started here. It started here, y'all, because I had to get myself in the right place. You have to start here. It is, you've got to see things as they are. And that's the hard part of being a victim of domestic violence, because your abuser for sure has painted some picture of you to you that isn't even partially true, but they need to isolate you. They need to make you feel less than. They need to convince you that everything that's going on and happening to you is your fault. You need to always be on the defense because they come from the offense, put you on the defense. It's a whole charade and a lie. And I had to learn that. I had to see that for myself, that what I was in was not love. That wasn't a marriage. What was that? Couldn't even, don't even ask me to define it. But breaking free, to break free, it starts up here. You have got to see it and admit it and know what it is. I am so fired up. It was a process, y'all. It was a process of me admitting the truth to me, admitting my truth of who he is, who he is. I did say is, who he is, and what was being done to me. I had to activate my courage. So when you choose you and you break free, it requires truth and courage. Are y'all feeling me? I dumped a narcissistic man for 4 years, got my order of protection on Friday. Like this past Friday? Like this past Friday? You better go. Listen, me and you, we can go to Starbucks and talk about it all day. We could talk about it all day. God bless you. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you and so thankful for your life, because let me tell you, everything doesn't end that way. Breathe, take a breath. Thank you, Norma. Amen. And yes, yes, absolutely. I am so, so, so happy for you. Oh my God. Oh God. This is why I do what I do. This is why I sit here and do this. So the bottom line is, to break free, you must see and admit to yourself that you are in a cycle of violence, that you are in a cycle of abuse, that you have to get out of. And getting out starts right here. And you cannot break free until you tell yourself the truth of your situation and the truth of who your abuser is. The truth that it is not your fault, that it is actually that person who is orchestrating. Did you hear me? I like that word. Orchestrating the entire thing, manipulating you, your mind, your family, their everything. They are orchestrating the entire thing. So I know that you have been telling yourself certain things. I imagine that you've been telling yourself certain things just to survive through the day. Y'all, I remember telling myself things just to survive. Let me just say something real quick, sidebar. There are things that you did, or if you're still in it, you may be doing just to survive. I need you to know that that is also not your fault. You are surviving. And that is a whole different state of mind. That is a whole different lifestyle and way of living. That is a whole different thought process than if you were living your best life. I even hate that phrase, but it fits right here. Than if you were living your best life, the life that God wants for you versus that life of survival. So Whatever you did or are doing, if you are still surviving, just know that it's not your fault. It's not your fault. All right. So here are some general truths about abuse. Let me get right to it. Here are some general truths about abuse. First of all, now listen, you can't break free without accepting. Let's start with knowing and accepting the truth. So let me give you some general truths about domestic violence and abuse. Abuse is all about power and control. He or she, because there's women out here doing this stuff too, he doesn't love you. That word should just come out of your mouth and get put into a trash can real quick. Because if you're talking about that abuser, they don't love you. In fact, they don't even love themselves. Can we start there? Can we start with that? Okay, they don't love you. Love is respect. Love is respect. Did you hear me? He doesn't love you, and he never did. Didn't I say, let me tell you some general truths? That's hard truth. He doesn't love you. She doesn't love you if it's a female, and they never did. Unfortunately, I had to accept this. Unfortunately, I was the next one on his list because I had some traits that he was looking for or needed to make his whole little plan work. Yes, unfortunately, you were the next one on the list. Ain't got nothing to do with love. Secondly, so that's the first truth. Secondly, don't tell yourself a lie. The behavior of abusers is calculated. Listen to me, it's a choice. They didn't stumble into this abuse thing, okay? All right. They are not crazy. They are not sick. They are not confused. They are certainly not angry with you. There is nothing you did or didn't do that made them angry. They are going to abuse regardless of what you do or don't do. And when you accept that truth, these two things, it's all about power and control. There is nothing you can do or not do to cause your own abuse. Let's be clear. When you accept those two things, then you can think about breaking free. It's absolutely imperative. You can think about breaking free. All right. So I want to say this. Talk to me, y'all, because this is good. Am I saying the right stuff? Are y'all hearing me? What I must clearly acknowledge, though, is that there are some real barriers to breaking free. Who was it? Kay, you were on here talking about how you just got out of your situation after being in it for 4 years, that you had dumped this guy, you got rid of him, and you got your order of protection. Listen, there were some real barriers to you getting out of that. I'm sure you can tell us all about it. There were some real difficulties about you getting out of that. So let me tell you a statistic. Y'all ready? I need your ears to perk up right now. You know, all the people that run around here saying, why don't she just leave? Why don't she just get out? But for all of y'all, listen up. The statistics outline the reality that the most dangerous time for a survivor or victim is when she leaves the abusive partner. Did you hear me? Wait, hold on. No, let me make sure you heard me. That the statistics make it clear that the most dangerous time for a victim or survivor is when she leaves the abusive partner. 77%. Hold that number in your head. I was born in 1977. 77% of domestic violence related homicides occur upon separation. And there is a 75% increase of violence upon separation for at least 2 years. I need you to hear me. Everybody is so quick to say, girl, why you ain't leave yet? She still, why she ain't yet? You don't have the whole story. You have no real idea what's happening in those four walls. And the statistics tell us that separation is the most dangerous time, that is when the most likely incidents of domestic violence related homicides will happen. So before you speak, before you talk, I'm not talking to y'all necessarily, but whoever is out here saying that, understand how dangerous it is to leave. Kate, oh my God, hold on. Let me just back up. King Arthur's Kid said, the testimony you're giving is so powerful. It's validating all that I've gone through. Thank you for this. You are welcome. Kay told me that she's still struggling. Listen, y'all, this thing is real. It's no joke. So that is a huge barrier. What I just told you about domestic violence related homicides, that's a huge barrier. And that's big enough. But let me tell you a few more. Isolation. When you're trying to break free, the reality is that you are have been isolated from your friends, your family, your community, your support, your church, and the abusive partner is seeking. They were seeking to cut off all that stuff from you, right? They tried to make sure that those things were cut off from you. So you had nowhere to go. And now you're trying to find a way out. Where do you go? Where do you go? Y'all got to get real with me on this one. All right, children. One of the things that if your abuser has succeeded in getting you pregnant, and I say it that way because I promise you that getting a victim pregnant is a whole part of the game. You think you scared to for yourself? Let a baby be in your belly, or you gave birth to a child. Do you have any idea what a mother will do to protect their child? They will suck up all of it to make sure that baby's okay. And that's some of the sacrifices we make. So basically, you are fearing the safety of your child with this abusive partner because a lot of times they've threatened to hurt the child. That if you try to leave, oh, they're going to take the child from you in court. And the sad thing is, there are statistics out there about how much abusers do get kids. Like, oh my God, it's just so crazy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm with you. And I will keep bringing the truth as much as I can. Listen, if you haven't shared this podcast, get to it. Get to it, y'all. But think of somebody. Don't be embarrassed. Don't worry about what they're going to say. Did they just tag me for something about domestic violence? Sure did. They just tag me like they trying to say I got a problem with my baby or my husband or my boyfriend or whoever. Sure did. Because you need to hear it. You need to hear it. So true. Thank you, Sophie. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. You've got isolation. Who do I turn to? He's completely or she's completely succeeded in cutting me off from everyone that was important to me, that I love, that loved me. Children, fear of what's gonna happen to my babies. Fear of what's gonna happen to my babies. Now, fear of retaliation. This isn't breaking free is no joke. It's no joke. Fear of retaliation, of being killed. This is real stuff, y'all. Fear of being killed, that the abusive partner will hurt your loved ones, of being stalked, of not being believed, of these unsupervised visits that these abusers are given with the kids. They even put you at risk because, man, I got to actually exchange the child with the person that I spent years trying to get away from. I got to exchange my child with this person. Well, I'm out in the open. Yeah, we do it at the police station. Yeah, we do it at the exchange visitation center. Crazier things have happened. Okay. Physical harm that occurred after you tried to leave. Just threats of suicide. They do all kinds of stuff, y'all. So don't just talk about it like, why don't he just leave? Why doesn't he just leave? You have people often have no real idea of what all is involved in untangling yourself from an abusive relationship. All right, so let me get back to this point of isolation. I got a bunch of important things that I want to say to y'all. Y'all are so special to me. Y'all are so special to me. Listen, people ask me sometimes, how can I do this and how do I get on here? And I know I'm telling stories. Listen, I got a real job. I got a real life. Yep. And everybody where I work, if you don't know, that's on you. They know I have this podcast because you know what? I can't worry about that type of stuff. I'm no longer worried about what they all think or people think. I spent 6 years and 2 months of a marriage worried about what somebody thought. You will never catch me living like that again. Me, myself, I. I'm doing me. I'm choosing me. I'm going to keep choosing me now and into 2022 and beyond. So I'm going to keep doing this because I need to. Sophie does this because she knows we need to. That's my girl right there. We know I should have wore some of your jewelry tonight, Sophie. I should have put on some of your jewelry, Sophie. All right. Kay, listen, to you, I'm going to put your comment back up. Listen to me. If in fact you need to talk, if in fact you need to kind of sort through a couple of things, because the struggle is real when you separate from someone you've been in an abusive, controlling relationship with. It seems so easy to say, whew, I got away. All better now. Boo boo is covered. Got a band-aid on it. Doesn't work like that. Extracting yourself, Kay, talk to me. Extracting yourself from these situations takes a long, long time. Hold on. I love it. Yes, I chose me. Yes, girl, chose me. Choose you. Thank you, cuz. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. Who the sun set free is free indeed. Can we say that together? Whom the sun sets free is free indeed. Sophie, I know you all on top of that one, all over it. All right, so let me get back to the point of isolation real quick because I got some specific things I want to leave y'all with, some very key thoughts. Please know that breaking isolation is the key to escaping. Did you hear me? Breaking the isolation is actually the key to escaping. So, breaking isolation occurs, it basically allows you to hear from the people who actually love you because we already discussed that fool does not. So, when you break isolation and you reconnect, it allows you to hear. Faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. When you speak words out of your mouth unto your own hearing, are you listening? You got to speak those things and have people speak things to you, the truth to you, not that mess that that person was feeding you, because they are the people who can actually help you see the truth, not that abuser. I'm going to tell y'all something. There's a quote that I love. I'm going to read it to you real quick. I got it right here. It says, she remembered who she was and the game changed. Y'all heard me? She remembered who she was and the game changed. I remembered who I was. But you know how I did that? My mom relentlessly talking to me 2 and 3 times a day because I had these moments where I felt like I had nothing left. I got sick, depressive, sick, diarrhea, throwing up sick after I got away from my abuser. My body reacted to it. I would never be able to explain that to somebody, but my body literally reacted to me getting him out of my life. I went into like this depressive state for a little while. I was laying in the bed for a long time, and then I just felt so sick. The next thing you know, diarrhea, throwing up in the shower repeatedly. My body had lost control of itself. My mom tells me to this day that the reason that happened to me is that I was releasing some of the poison that he had put into my system. And I believe her. I believe that. That's what was coming out of me. Hold on, we got some comments. It's so crazy how real this is. I'm suffering aside, relates to my suffering relates to my two daughters. Protect my girls, even after presenting hardcore evidence of his. Oh, there is something about it. The courts didn't protect my girls, even after presenting hardcore evidence of his pedophilia. I'm being forced. I gotta tell you, man, it's like I read this thing by this lady. I think her name is Marianne Hester. Somebody else told me about this, and it's talking about life on the 3 planets. And it essentially says that you got the family court, like the domestic violence court, and then like these other entities, that all supposedly work together, but they have no idea what they're doing. It's almost like the domestic violence court thinks that you're just coming in there and you're just mad and you're upset, and so you're trying to keep the guy away from the children, and it's like, no, I'm trying to protect myself. And then you go to the family court and you think the family court's going to uphold the protection that you got from the domestic violence court. And it's like, they aren't even talking to each other. Like, they have no idea what the right hand has no idea what the left hand is doing and vice versa. And I get a protection order. I have proof of what's being done. But then over here, it's all about the dad or the other person, the other parent. Well, they need visitation time and they need this. They did it in front of my child. So if you are trying to, this when I get mad. If you are telling me that the definition of domestic violence is the willful intimidation, threats, abuse, physical, all these things that affect the emotional, the psychological, the mental, the sexual, if you tell me that all those things add up to domestic violence and my baby witnessed it, explain to me again how you don't accept that my child was also abused because she saw it. Explain that to me. So when you go to a court and you present evidence of pedophilia, but the courts are so hard pressed to what? Make it nice for the abuser. Why? Because if the abuser cared, they would have never done it in the first place. So why do you care so much? Why do you judge whoever care so much when they didn't care enough to protect their own child and to do the right thing for their own child? Why do you care so much? God, it just makes me sick and it frustrates me. How do they have so many rights? to turn my daughters over weekly. I'm in tears hearing you speak of all this. I'm living this as we speak. I just want to tell you, let me go back to your comment first of all. I just want to tell you that I pray you are getting some kind of help for you because I got this in my thing. I'm going to say it now. It took me 3 counselors, 3 to finally get to one that was the right one for me for what I needed. I was in so much pain. I felt like nobody could hear me. I'm gonna keep going because I got so much to tell y'all. Like I got so much to tell y'all. I told you I'm gonna be on here until like 8:15. Don't drop off. Don't drop off. Stay with me because this is called breaking free and living courageously. Do not forget the quote. She remembered. That could be a he too. She remembered who she was, and the game changed. You gotta remember who you are. You gotta be with the people who can remind you of who you are and who God says you are. Sophie, talk to me about it. And who God says you are. Because if you only hear the voice of that abuser, if that's the only voice that's full of lies, deceit, and darkness, and oh, I just can't, it's poison, then you will stay right there, trapped where you are, and you will never break free. But we are talking about breaking free and living courageously. I'm getting to that. And courageously from now on. Okay? King Arthur's kid, all of y'all, let me tell you something. Let me just say something real quick. I know the way you feel. You feel defeated. You feel like you can't grab hold, like everything's running through your hands like water. Everything, you can't hold on to anything. I know you feel like that. I felt like that. I felt like I had no control and I was waiting for some attorney to fix it and waiting for some judge to just feel me and understand my pain. I remember that. So I can't wait to get to the rest of this because it requires some serious change on your part. And I don't just mean your daily routine. I mean what is going on here and what is going on in here and your interpretation of what is happening around you. Because what I learned is that the more these things happen and the more I just said, God, it's just you almost feel like everything's out of your control. You have got to work through, okay, where is my power in this? What do I have control of? What strength do I have in this? I want to talk to y'all. I could talk all night. I have so much to tell you, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. Sophie, yes, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. This is nothing but facts. Okay, let me keep going, y'all. There are people, the people who truly love you, those people, them right there, them. They are the ones who can help you see who you really are. And they are the ones who can help you really see the need for change. Meaning, either if you're in your situation and need to get out, or if you're out of it, but you still feel like you're in it, because that's what I'm hearing for some of y'all. You're out of it, but you still feel like you are in it. This is so important. I know change is never easy. I know it. It was not for me. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about change. This is a quote from the infamous Tony Robbins. You may have heard it. Change happens. Listen, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Are you listening? Change is going to happen when the pain of you staying like you are is worse than the pain of changing. Stay with me, y'all. That's one you got to grab onto for just a second because I had to realize that I could either stay here and this pain is going to kill me, or I could say, all right, I know by changing, I'm probably going to lose this and go through that and end up in court and fight for this and lose my money and everything else. And shit, I knew that there was going to be pain on the other side, but that pain was walking me closer. The pain of change was walking me closer to the freedom that I knew I deserved, was walking me closer to the mindset I deserved to be in, to the peace I deserve to live in every night when I lay down to go to sleep. That's what that pain of change is going to bring me. But the pain of staying the same, I, you know, when I think about the Drano, when I think about somebody being willing to throw a chemical on my skin, that's the pain of staying the same. And that is something I never, ever will let myself go through again, where a person could think they control me so much that they have such control over me, my body, the way I look, that they would be willing to try to burn me with bleach. That's the pain of staying the same. The pain of change is taking me to my opportunities. It's taking you to your opportunities. The pain of change, worth it. It is worth it, y'all. We've got to do it. We've got to change. Let me see what this comment is. Thank God I'm out there. Yes, 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 yes. Let me keep going. I've got resources. I got a lot of resources. I know people to call, shelters, information, uh, people who are mental health professionals. I know it. I got that. And I can provide you with some of that. I am not that person. I often think about becoming that person where I'm actually trained, clinically trained. But just know, I also know that each person's situation is different. Even the stuff y'all mentioned on here, everybody's situation is different. Ooh, I remember my values and changed his game. Come on, Kay. Wait a minute now. Me and you got to talk offline now. Come on now. We got to talk. Um, and so I won't give personal instruction on here because that would not be wise. But I want to say a few things. Getting out, people, everybody says get out, escape, go away, run. But I want to say that you can't even think about living courageously until you are safe and stable. So I've got a list of things on this piece of paper, right? There's very specific things, meaning how to get safe and how to become stable that I can share that I found. But some important things: safety when preparing to leave, safety planning with your children, safety planning after you've left. Y'all heard what I said, the statistic about a domestic violence related homicide. It's a big deal. Safety even with a protection order, safety in your workplace, all these things, safety with your emotional health, and also the things you have to prepare to take with you if you are trying to escape. All right. So I got to keep going because I know it's already 7:57. I said I'd be done by 8:15. Okay. So, but let's suppose you are actually out. Now what? Everybody said you should run, right? Why don't she just leave? Why don't he just leave? Okay. Let's pretend for a moment you are out and some of you are out. Now what? Kay, Kay Johnson, I think your name was. How do you live courageously? So I broke free. How do I live courageously? What does that even mean? What does that even look like? And like, what does it take to live courageously? Sophie will tell you any day, you got to start with God. That's the first thing. You got to start with God. You got to center yourself in your spiritual walk. That's the first thing, because you got to get correct there. A lot of times in abusive relationships, if we are spiritually centered, we completely lose touch with that because this person has taken over you in every possible way. So looking up to God, sometimes you can't even see God because you're smothered by this person who literally, I tell people, I felt like I could not breathe in my situation. So you got to look up. It starts there. But just because you got out doesn't mean it's over. Just because you got out doesn't mean it's over. So let's think about this. Your new reality is this. You are now in this new and unfamiliar type of, sometimes if you have a child with them, oh my God, what's that thing called? If you don't know the name of it, it's called post-separation abuse. That is an experience of people who get out, where after the fact, they are doing all kinds of things to make your life hell still, and they're getting just right up to that line of the protection order. Let me tell you about mine. Using harassment and intimidation when I go to exchange a child. Yeah, some of that took place. Withholding financial support. That took place. Using court action to take my money. Using court. So now court, he can't get right to me. So he's going to use the court and the judges and the attorneys to abuse. Let me tell you, this was a big one for me. So I'm going to tell you a couple things. I remember, and I told y'all before, I did tell you that he signed an agreement, a consent agreement, saying that he abused me. I did say that, right? Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. This dude signed a consent agreement saying, I did this to her. I will leave her alone. But you know what he did? He hired his attorney to submit a motion for post-separation support. No, you didn't hear me wrong. No, no, no. You heard that. You heard me right. I admit that I was abusive. I admit that I had to get kicked out by the sheriffs because I was abusive. And that's why I no longer have the home or the life that I had. I admit that. That was my fault. But Your Honor, can I still have some of her money? This is real talk, y'all. Real talk. He filed a motion for post-separation support. Let me tell you what that looked like. I made a lot more money than my ex-husband. Sure, I still do today. Sorry, I had to get that out. Okay. I'm pretty sure I still do today, even more. And it's mine. Gotcha. All right. So what happened was he basically said, well, he got on the stand at court and he said, I don't have as much anymore. And now I'm sleeping on in the second bedroom of my aunt's apartment. And when my daughter comes by, we got to sleep in the same bed and there's not enough room for her. And, this is hard. And so, where did you live before? It was a 4-bedroom house with 2-car garage. And now I ain't got none of that. I need help. I need her money. Wait a minute. Though, hold on. So you were living with her, getting all the benefits of the money she had, and you just abused her and you admitted to it and you come here to court asking for money. This is what happens, y'all. This is post-separation abuse. This is what occurs. Let me tell you, thank God for this little piece that he lied so hard that the judge was like, this financial affidavit is a bunch of lies. You ain't spending money on this and you don't need money for that. And lie, 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 lie. Now, what she should have done is basically gave him nothing, but she validated him by giving him just over $100 a month. Hello, what is that? It should have just been xed out. It should have been xed out, but I got stuck with paying that and paying his attorney's fees. This thing is real. Breaking free, living courageously. I didn't say living easily. I didn't say that, did I? I said living courageously, not living easily. I had to fight for what I knew was right. And I was there to the death. I was going to fight to make sure me and my baby were taken care of, in spite of what he was doing. I struggled. I cried. I borrowed money. I had bills paying late. I owed the IRS money. I fought. I got my life back together. Now I'm in an even better job, making even more money. So sorry, sir, not yours no more. Done with you. Bye. Living courageously, not easily. I fought the good fight. You know what else he did? Filed a court action. Y'all listen to me. Filed another court action to block me from getting access to my own money after separation. So he filed this motion, and it was, I forget the name of it right now, but it was essentially to, you know how they say freeze your assets. He essentially tried to freeze my money so that I couldn't spend it before he got some of it. Thank God that did not work out in his favor. But back to court again, fighting in court again. I said live courageously. I didn't say live easily. Stay with me. Sometimes, sometimes it is all of the ongoing mental trauma and emotional stress. It follows you even after you get out. So you got to heal. You need safety and stabilization. You need to remember what happened to you and mourn it. You've got to mourn it. Being being able to live courageously, there's some stuff you got to let go, but you got to work through it. You got to unpack it, as they say. You got to unpack it. Remember it, mourn it, reconnect, reintegrate with the people who loved you most. You have to. And you know what else you got to do? I'm going to stay here for just a second. Y'all see my shirt with all these words on it? I don't even know what they say. I just bought it. I liked it. Establishing new boundaries and charting a new course for yourself. Some people can move on quickly and some people can't. But now, when I meet people, when I get to know people or men, if I'm interested, my living courageously is to say, yes, to heal. You have to heal. My living courageously is to say, I'm not going to say all men are the same. That I'm just going to stay away from all men. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to change my approach to men. I'm going to change my approach to what I'm looking for. I'm going to pay attention in a whole new way. I look for significant personality differences between us. If it's too different to the point where it's just awkward or contentious, I don't stick around. But you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with, I don't need a man to be in my space. I would like that. but I'm not going to just accept anything to have a man in my space. I am not going to do that. So if the personalities are so different, that is so extreme, that is creating tension, bye boy, bye boy. If I see signs of unnecessary aggression, that's a huge bye boy. This is the stuff you have to do. You need to establish new boundaries, chart a new course. You want to live courageously, you got to have the right information. Living courageously, it doesn't mean it's easy. If I see any patriarchal attitudes, if I see an overemphasis on appearance and bragging on themselves, and let me tell you something else I do. And I'm telling you 100, you hear me? 100, I do this. I learned how to trust myself and my own judgment all over again. But can I be straight up? I do background checks. Sure do. Yes, I do. I use a little system. If you want to know how at me, I can tell you on a low low. I use a particular system, background check, because you know what? People tell you what they want. They tell you what they want you to know. They can get you. I learned that, right? On the side, get my little check and make sure I don't see anything crazy before I even go out and meet you anywhere. Before I go any further. Nope, no serious dates, no nothing official until I at least have seen that. You have to. You have to. Let me see what Evelyn. I'm seeing a bunch of things. I'm so glad they listen to you at least. I'm in the state of Georgia, and he flipped the judge and my own. Oh, how? Let me read that again. I'm in the state of Georgia, and he flipped the judge and my own attorney against me. You mean the attorney you paid money for? Yeah. Mm. That's a whole discussion for we need to catch up. See that bank account? Let me tell y'all something. That's a little sidebar. I gotta say it for just a second. It's so funny to me because after the separation, his whole thing was all about continuing to drain me dry. So we go through this whole divorce proceeding, and he is tapped in. How much is in that 401k? Ooh, she got a pension, blah, 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 right? All these things. And he's coming for it hard. But what he didn't account for was the fact that he put me in. Listen, y'all, maybe this might help somebody. He put me in so much debt. I mean, I have never in my life had tax debt, tax with the IRS. I never had tax debt. You just let it come out your paycheck. You don't have to worry about none of that. Then when tax season come around, get your little refund. Yeah. Well, I successfully got into tax debt because of it. I had all kinds of credit card debt. Oh, it was a mess from that marriage. Well, he didn't do his math right. Remember I told you he said he was 16 steps ahead of me? Well, apparently he wasn't 16 steps ahead of himself because what he didn't do was say, hey, in accounting class, they talk about assets and liabilities, right? Assets, liabilities. And if the liabilities outweigh the assets, you don't get nothing. I to this day, I would never forget what happened and how he was so pissed that he actually ended up owing me money. You know what he split? Not the assets. You gotta split the debt. He split it all in the marriage. He split it all, bro. He split it all. So see that bank account now. There is no IRS tax debt. There is no credit card debt. That stuff is gone. I just thank God. That's all I can say. Just thank God for the victory because I had to fight my way through that. I was dedicated to that fight. I was dedicated to making sure me and my baby were good and that we weren't struggling. And now we don't struggle at all. And I'm so grateful. And I ain't married. Maybe I'll do it again one day. I ain't right. Maybe. But I'm nearing the end. So I gotta say a couple things to y'all. Listen to me. Listen. Oh, you are so welcome. Check this out. All right. So I want to say a few things to you because I don't want you to be misled. Breaking free is one point, but you gotta have the courage to break free, but you have to have the strength to stay out. You have to have the courage to get out. Write this down. The courage to get out, the strength and wisdom. Can I say that? The strength and wisdom to stay out because it's not easy. Because I bet all y'all on here, if you've been through it, you wanted to call him. You might have called him. You might have gone back and actually laid down with him again. These things happen. Thank God that ain't my story because I was like, deuces. Can't wait to get away from you. But cutting off all contact with your ex, with your abuser, is your major first step. Now, if you got kids, That's very, very hard. But you got to figure out how not to let those stanky text messages they send you just to draw you back in. Because I've been there, telling me he ain't gonna let me talk to her until you'll talk to her when she comes back home. All that kind of stuff. And I'm going crazy. He not gonna let me talk to my child. And I'm calling my friends and I'm breaking down. He was in my head. You have to work on getting them out of your head because they pissed that you got away. How dare you get away? How dare you get from under my control? So since you're not under my control physically, I'm gonna do everything I can to control your mind. That is what you cannot let happen because if you ever expect to live courageously, they have to become nothing to you. They are you listening? They have to become nothing to you. He is nothing to me. Like I say, bye, boy. Bye, boy. Okay. Take care of yourself. Remember that healing takes time. I'm bringing it to a close, y'all. Do whatever it takes. Exercise, journal, see a professional. Do not overlook the power of seeing a professional. Cut your hair off. Oh my God, that is so freeing to just like play in my hair and all that. I gotta show you something real quick. Before I cut my hair, hold on, let me get rid of the comment. Hold on, real quick. Wait a minute. Before I cut my hair, can y'all see this picture? Hold on. Okay, here we go. There we go. Y'all see this? That's me. Y'all see my hair? That was before. I'm gonna hold it right here for a second. All right. I was skinnier too. Don't talk about that. Don't be talking about me. I was skinnier. Yep. That was me. Long, all that hair, right? That wasn't no weave. Do not be playing. By the time he got done with me, that Saturday, I went to go cut my hair. Y'all see this? That's me. My hair was so broken off and damaged. There we go. And damaged. Look at this. Nothing. All along the way, it was breaking off. I was cutting it, trying to like make it look better, putting in pieces of weave in my hair, trying to cover up the fact that it was breaking so I could make it look longer. Cut into a bob because the back of my hair was breaking off. Y'all see this? The day I cut my hair. That was the day I cut my hair. Woo! My sister put some eyelashes on me. I was sitting there like, I can see where I'm going. I might not be there yet, but you can see it in my eyes. I know where I'm going. I just got to get there and keep pushing. Listen, that's you. That's all of you. You can break free and you can live courageously. If there is something that somebody is using to hold you back, I don't care if it's your hair. I don't care if it's something they know about your past. I don't care. You have got to figure out how to make that thing so small in your life and in your world that they can never use it against you, no matter how hard they try. This is living courageously. Courage isn't nothing coming toward you that's unsafe. Courage is things in front of you that are actually scary, things that bring you fear. But in the that fear, you look in the eyes and you keep going. That's what courage is. You keep going. So everything y'all telling me, you got to keep going. All right. So I'm going to say a few more things. So we got to go. Forgiving yourself is very common. A part of being living courageously is forgiving yourself, breaking free and living courageously. Because it's very common to feel such emotions like guilt and shame and doubt and remorse. And it could happen for days and weeks, months and years after you're separated. You have got to work through that. And you got to work with someone who can help you. Breaking the cycle so you don't end up back with that person. Breaking the cycle begins with forgiving yourself. All right, I'm going to say a few things in closing because I got some things I want to say in terms of like affirmations for you. Okay, this is from lovespeaksout.org. I'm bringing it to an end. Although it may be difficult, listen to me, y'all. Although it may be difficult, this is the time that you need to focus on you and your own happiness. You never did anything to cause this, and you deserve to be happy and feel safe. What you went through is not who you are. Healing is a process, and through it, you will remember how strong, capable, and extraordinary you really are. You will have good and bad times, but every day free from abuse is another piece of yourself that you get back. And eventually, those pieces will all come together. Are you listening? I got some quotes. I want you to focus on your strengths because you've been continuously told by your abuser that you're nothing, that you're to blame for the abuse that you suffered. And you might not feel very good about yourself because of that. But let me be your emotional support right now. Let me be that for you right now because you are so worth it. You deserve a life free from violence. And in spite of what you've been told, I know that you have valuable strengths and skills. And let me say this to you, a few quotes. I got a few to run through. You ready? If it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. Let me repeat that one. If it costs you your peace, then it's too expensive. Okay, did y'all got me? Stay with me now because I got a few more to go through. Y'all got a few more to go through. Self-love is not selfish. You cannot truly love another until you know how to first love yourself. I'm gonna keep going. One of the happiest moments in life is when you find the courage to let go of what you can't change. You can't change him. You can't fix him. He is who he is for whatever reasons that he is. But when you can let go because you let go of what you cannot change, then you can work on you and get you together. Note to self, I deserve love. I deserve self care. I deserve respect. You deserve respect. You deserve honesty. You deserve the best. You deserve to be noticed. You deserve to get better. What you do not deserve is to be treated like you don't matter. What you do not deserve is to be hurt, even by yourself. Are y'all hearing me? I got a couple more. I got a couple more. These are the last two. Okay. I went out and searched the internet and searched to find these. Here we go. Last two. Be strong enough to walk away from those that continue to hurt you. Be strong enough to walk away from those who continue to hurt you. Be brave enough to walk alone until you find the ones that deserve you. Ooh, I love these. I love these. Last one. Last one. This is breaking free, living courageously, choosing you in 2022. Here's the last one. In order to be free, we must learn how to let go, release the hurt, release the fear, refuse to entertain the old pain. You want to live? You want to break free? You want to live courageously? You've got some stuff to release, and you have to refuse to let it back into your space ever again. I don't care if the one that did it was dark skin and this new one is light skin. Don't matter. You got to know the personality traits. Refuse to entertain that old stuff. Let me tell you the last thing I'm going to say to y'all tonight. Somebody said something to me. It was my sister's friend. Her name was Jack. Jack said, Shorty, that's my nickname in case y'all ain't know. Shorty, let me tell you something. Forget his name. Forget him. Don't forget the name. I don't care what his name was. Norma, I don't know what his name is. Kay, I don't know what his name is. Evelyn, I don't know what his name is. Yo, listen, I don't King Arthur's kid. I don't know what his name is. But his name doesn't matter. What you have to do, take a paper bag, put a paper bag over his face. Put a paper bag over every face. Put a paper bag over every face and pay attention to the personality. Because if you're looking for the same name, if you're looking for the same look, if you're looking for the same way they dress, same kind of girl, watch out for that. Don't do it. You're gonna miss it. Put a paper bag over their face. Pay attention to the personality. That is how you don't find yourself right back where you just were. I love y'all. I know I don't even know y'all in person, but I promise you, my heart to yours. I love you. I want you to break free, be free, and live courageously in 2022 because you got to choose you to do that. So it's already 8:20. I'm gonna look through these comments because I appreciate y'all so much. Let me keep going. Kay says something too that I want to make sure I pull up. Angie, amen. You're so right. Oh, thanks, cuz. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, here we go. Glory to God. Amen. Oh, here we go. How do I release it? You and I need to talk. Can we please? Can you reach out to me, Facebook message or something? Can you personally reach out to me? Because your release may be different than my release, but it's all about understanding what still got you bound. We got to figure out what it is that actually still has you bound before we can figure out how to release it. Does that make sense, Kay? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. This is so enriching. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. We are done. It's late. It's 8:20. I'm past my schedule. Evelyn says, I did 35 years ago. Out of my life, it was hard with six kids. I only got one. 6 kids, but thank God I made it out alive. Thank God you made it out alive. Thank God for all of you. Kay, promise me. Promise me. I'm not going to push you. I want you to come to me. So maybe I shouldn't say promise, but if it is in you, if your heart tells you to, I want you to come to me, reach out to me on Facebook Messenger or something, and let me know that you are willing to talk, because we have to figure out what has you bound. Okay. All right. Yes, Evelyn, you and I should talk then. If you are a DV advocate, if you are also talk, Evelyn. Okay, y'all, it is 8:21. I will not keep you any longer. I want you to be blessed. Listen, I'm gonna share a couple things with y'all. I decorated the tree. My baby, she helped me decorate. Oh, I dropped it on the floor. And we got cute little stuff. Think forward. Think forward to the beauty of 2022, right? We did red this year on the tree. We got these little things. Isn't this so cute? Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. Hold on, one more thing. It's right behind here. Look at that. Isn't it so cute? Oh! Listen, y'all, it's things like this. Making new traditions with your baby and your new family, it's stuff like this that matters. I think there's one more, but it fell. This is too cute for me. And that's what it's all about. How do I make new memories? Because those memories are killing me. They're killing me inside. Gotta let go of them, right? You gotta make new memories. And it's stuff like this with her, just me and her, making new memories in our own space, a space he's never been in. Because I chose me. And I need you to choose you. Not just in 2022. I know that's the name of it because it sounds nice and it rhymes. But I want you to choose you in 2022. Tell me how I can help you. I don't do this just to talk. I do it because I have a work to do. And God gave me this work. And I know it's for me to do. So if choosing you means talking to me, talk to me. All right. All right. I'm going to go and let y'all go. It's Sunday night. We all got to go to work tomorrow, get up tomorrow, do whatever. So God bless every one of you. If you haven't shared this, please do share it. Share it to your page. Share it to a friend. Hallelujah. Yes. Share it to wherever. Thank you so much, y'all. I want to say God bless you and good night. Please tell me how I can help you. Reach out to me. Call me. You see the number scrolling across the screen? 855 We Survive. 855. This podcast is for domestic violence awareness and action. So call me toll free. 855 We Survive. I can never remember the numbers. 855-937-8784. Everybody have a good night. Have a great year. Have great holidays. Happy New Year. This is my last one for this year, but already got my one scheduled for the first Sunday in January. So boom. I will see y'all. Love y'all. Good night. See you later.